2021 Coachman VIP 520. As always, come with me. I normally start round the back just to show everything, how it all works or where everything is. Those of you who have seen these videos before will know I've got a pretty set format for it. So at the back, most important thing, obviously Wiltshire Caravans sticker. But we've got your light clusters, so that's for your indicators, reverse lights, brake lights and running lights, and fog lights. Grab handles, fortunately this one's got some motor movers, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Down here, the corner steadies for the rear. Okay, highline brake light on this one, so basically that's your rear panel. First part we get to on the offside is the toilet area. So this is one of the blue jobs generally. This is where you put your flush in, whether you use your pink fluid or whether you just use water like some people do. Unless you've got a watering can, I just use an old 2-litre pop bottle, fill it up, pour it in, happy days. You'll know when you need to refill it because you'll flush and nothing will come out. Now to the really nice job, the toilet cassette. So it's the standard Thetford's toilet cassette. You'll know when you need to empty it because the light comes on inside by the toilet flush button, but literally lift up and just pull straight towards you. Now you do need to have the flap closed in the toilet. I'll show you that in a little bit anyway. But to empty out, I'll tell you what we can do. If you'd like to, you can do your trolley dolly bit and walk around with that. You will have people making comments, trust me. But to empty, really, this forward, undo this, take this off. I'm not going to take it off now, but take it off. Pour this, put that somewhere safe. You don't want that going into the hole where you're pouring this. Otherwise, because you'll have to go and get it. You don't want to be doing that. So take that off, put it somewhere safe. Over the receptacle, press that to release any air pressure. Okay? That'll empty out quite quickly. What you'll want to do then is rinse this out. So this slides back, just there. Open this flap. There's always a hose pipe around just to rinse it out. Make sure you close the flap back up. Put the slider back in. Put that lid back on, give it a swill around and repeat the process. Okay, so that is emptying the toilet. You'll want to put some blue solution in. Whether you use blue or green is up to you. On the lid there are levels to tell you how much, basically just a measuring level. Have a look at the bottle, whatever fluid you're using, just to see how much you need to put in. Some people dilute, some people don't dilute. As we only ever used to go for a wee in our caravan, I knew I was going to dilute it fairly quickly anyway, so I didn't used to bother. One of my little handy hints is for winterizing. Now, winter you don't want any fluid that isn't glycol, I'll come to that, in this caravan. So you'll want to empty the reservoir. Now under here, there's a little black pipe. And literally just get a bucket, open this bung, and gravity will do the rest. You'll empty that out. Like I say, you don't want anything in here over winter. Frost damage on any part of the caravan, whether it's from this reservoir or if you leave water in your caravan, is not covered under the warranty. You need to know that. And it's always a good idea to lock that, because if someone has lost their lid, they might want to borrow yours. All right. Next part, so we're down to the waste area, so that's the grey waste as we call it. So that's water from your 2 sinks, bathroom and kitchen, and from your shower. A couple of bits of pipe into a waste master, or if you're on a fully serviced pitch, you might want to just go straight to the drain. Obviously windows, quite useful in a caravan, otherwise it's called a box. So the wheels, alloy wheels, always torqued to 130 Newton meters. The information for that is around the side, other side on the weight plate. The motor movers, there is a separate video for a motor mover, so I'll send that along to the next person or to whoever needs it. This part, battery box. Open up. So first thing you see, dirty great big battery. This one's 110 amp. Good to have that sort of size when you've got a motor mover. If you haven't got a motor mover, you can get away with the smaller ones, but they're the ones we recommend. Your electric hookup. Okay, so here it is. The electric hookup literally works. That goes in there, up inside. Simple as that. Behind here, on here, you've also got a couple of antenna outputs. You've got an F-type and a standard coax. Some sites you might find that the aerial signal or the TV signal is not great. They may have a separate aerial that you can hook into. Next bit, water input. So that's where the water pump goes into. Let me just grab the pump a second. Here I put one conveniently in the storage locker at the front. So, whale water system in here, one water pump. This is the pumpy bit. This literally just pushes in, he says, and that clamps down just to seal it in place. This bit goes into aquaroll. That just goes over the hole in the aquaroll, so you don't get any dirt or any detritus inside the basically into your fresh water. When you are emptying your barrel, you want to put this somewhere so it doesn't go on the ground. There's a little clip in there. Took me ages to find that. Couldn't work it out myself. I can't even claim that I did work it out. I just walked past someone had a caravan and it was there, so good idea. And when you're finished, literally just take the pump out. As simple as that. This part here, this caravan has got the ALDA system for hot water and heating. If you're running on gas, the exhaust comes out of there. So if you're off grid and running on gas, that's where it all comes out of. To the front, very simple. Coachman, typical Coachman style. 2 lockers in the corner. This one is just a storage locker. In here we've got an Alco lock. You've got your leg winder, etc. That's just, like I say, a storage area. And on the other side, it's a gas locker. The gas locker can take 2 6-kilo gas bottles or 7-kilo butane, whatever you're using. We set ours up for propane generally. So that's the red bottles. 2 fit in there, and your gas hose just to connect. Don't keep anything else in there. It's the gas locker. Got separate videos for actually hitching up, etc., but it's running on the Alco chassis. So this has Alco ATC, Alco trailer control. So when you plug your lead into the car, that should go green, just to say that the system's working. Now the system itself, there's a sensor underneath the chassis, so if the caravan should start to move from side to side, it dabs the brakes on to make it just to steady things down. Hopefully the only time you notice it is when you go over a speed hump. The caravan might feel heavy for a couple of seconds, which I always thought was quite a good feeling, to be fair, because you know the system's working. Also at the front, 3 windows at the front, grab handles. If you're of a particular stature, i.e. not 6 foot tall, I find these really high, hence the motor movers. Okay, back round to this side. So you have an electric point, an outside electric point. So if you do have an awning, you can run an electric point. There's a little gap there, just to run that through into your awning. You also have an outside gas barbecue point. Do not use that in your awning. Can't stress strongly enough, you do not want fabric and flame in the same area. Sorry, I think my YTS trainee's getting a bit warm. Are you all right over there? Thank you, my cameraman. I've got a new cameraman today, it's all very exciting. He pays the wages. Right, so basically on here, it's just an outside locker. So area underneath the front bench. So you can access from inside, you can also access from outside. So vents for the fridge and freezer. Back to another, oddly enough, a wheel on the other side. These do have spare wheels, usually steel wheels underneath at the back. But it's got some important information on. You know, I spoke about the 130 Newton meters to torque those wheels. Now the steel wheel, so the spare, the steel wheel torque is at 88 Newton meters, so it's a lot less. But this tells us the CRIS number or the VIN number, which signifies the year and this particular caravan's identity, so to speak. The maximum plated weight on this one is 1550. Mass in running order, so basically empty with the gas bottle, which is 1408. Tyre size, etc. So there's lots of good information on here. Awning light, basically outside of a caravan, and your awning rail, whether you have an awning or not, whether you choose to go for an air beam awning or not, or a poled awning, entirely up to you. But we can give advice if you require it. Right, we're going to go inside, have a look around, and then we'll show you how everything works inside. So welcome to this 2021 Coachman VIP 520. Layout hasn't changed, so it's still the same now in 2024. First thing I'm going to do in here though is open a vent, because it is hotter than Hades in here. It's a little bit warm, so that's how easy that is. Okay, so showing you how everything works in here. It's not as complicated as you might think. First thing to do, when you come in, you reverse perfectly onto your pitch, you've plugged your electric in, you've plugged your water in. I'm just going to turn it off to start with because I had it on. This will tell you what you are doing. So this is your main power switch. Power on, and it says master on. That will be the time. It's not 10 to 2 in the morning in fairness, but so this is your menu in effect. So scroll down. First one, settings. This is your enter key. So enter for settings. You can change the display, you could turn the sound off, you could change the temperature unit. Notifications, I personally, I've not seen anything in there. I don't know if you know any different. No, okay. Firmware, that'll be only stuff that we would probably do with a service, if there are any updates on software. But if you do change anything, you must press down again and save and exit every time. Otherwise it does nothing. Okay, quite straightforward. Also information, 35 degrees centigrade in here, and it feels like it. The leisure voltage, 13.4, we are plugged into the mains, so that doesn't surprise me a great deal. But then there's just the time. If I want to change the time, press the enter and hold it, and it will say clock set hours. The time is actually 14:18. So let's get to 14:18. Which coincidentally is the year my wife was born. That's going to get me done. There are things I do edit on these videos, so she won't get to hear this. Let's go to 19. So remember to save. Save done. So, water pump. Once you've got your water pump into your Aquaroll, the water pump signal is there. Literally press that and it says pump on. Turn it again, pump off. It tells you what you're doing, so you really can't get this wrong. Also got the light switches, so lights off, lights on, awning off, awning on. So the lights are on, but there are lots of individual lights in here. Some really nice touches. For example, in the kitchen area, I will take the glasses off because I can't see that close. There's a little strip light, so press that. Doesn't look much in here at the moment, but it is, you know, at night time it's very bright. However, you can dim these down by holding on to that power button, he says, and it dims. It's a little bit more like myself. Hold me down and I get a bit more dim. But there's, on this side, there's also on the dinette side, does the same thing. Hold on, let it dim. Really nice feature, and so you can have the levels, lighting levels at pretty much whatever you want. Okay, now I've shown you about turning the water on, etc. I'm going to show you the heating in a minute, but what I really want to go on about first is, as I said previously, You don't want water in here over winter or if there's going to be any chance of a frost.
Sorry, you're on the radio.
Don't worry, that we do communicate, believe it or not. I hate to think what the reply is going to be. We might have to edit that bit, but never mind. But in these caravans, you have drain down. All caravans have a drain down valve. These Coachmans have two. Now the drain down valve under here, I'm not sure if Mark can get into the corner, but there are two drain down valves. Hot water and cold water. I will point them out to when we actually get there, so that's right. Yeah, you can see them both there now. Okay, so in the position they are in at the moment, they are allowing water into the caravan. To remove all the water, lift them vertically. So basically have them pointing straight up in the air, and at that point all the water will drain out. But to make sure everything's out, open all your taps as well. That way you will have nothing in here water-wise. Okay. I forgot something. Apologies. Right, so if you turn your master switch on, nothing happens. It's a distinct possibility, rare as it may be, but it is a possibility that one of the trip switches has gone. So in here, here's your PDU. It's got all your breakers. This did have aircon in it, which is why there's an aircon sign on here. That's been taken out at the new owner's request. So that's why that's down. However, all your breakers are in here and your fuses here, all labelled. Again, very difficult to get that wrong. But being British, it's not normally as warm as this in a caravan. Says me sweating. So heating, it runs on the Alder system. This is the Alder Compact 3020 system. Nice and simple to use, to be fair. So there's your on-off button. You might notice, I'm not sure seeing the light, little green light that's come on there, just indicating that everything's on. So the first screen that it gets to, basically it's saying the temperature in here at the moment is 32.5, and we're plugged into that, we're using the mains. The date, we can change that in the settings. Again, I'm going to leave that for the moment. But to get to the first screen, menu. First screen, so you've got the top bit where there's a thermometer. That's how warm do you want the minimum temperature to be in this caravan. And it's just a thermostat, up or down to whatever you want the minimum temperature to be. Very, very simple. Next one down is the hot water. Where that triangle is empty, there's no power to the hot water. You can see the minus grayed out. Press plus, and you'll see it's gone halfway. That will give you enough hot water 99% of the time. If you just use your water sparingly, absolutely fine, it's plenty. The only time you'll need to go to full, where you boost it to have a full triangle to boost everything, probably if you've got a couple of people, 2 or 3 people going in to going to have a shower in rapid succession, or for whatever reason you need to heat up your water very quickly. However, what that does, that takes all the power from this system that we're using on the Alder system alone, takes the power from the heating just for that time, and it boosts for, I believe, 15 minutes, but you can reset that to a longer time if you need to do so. Personally, I've never used it, but that doesn't mean to say I never will. Okay. Cool. Ah, hello. Right, following that, down is the power, so the electricity supply, but how much power we're going to use. The options on here are, well, off. You've got 1 kilowatt. Well, that would take an age for this thing to warm up. Always recommend going on to 2 kilowatts. You can go on to 3 if you're required to do so, but a lot of sites you won't be able to do that. And because this is the amount of power we're using just for this system. This is not for the whole caravan, it's just for this system. So 2 kilowatts will warm this thing up very, very quickly and nicely. Not as quickly as some of the blown air systems, but it's a more even heat and it's a more constant heat. Once you're at temperature, particularly now on some sites where you're going to have to start being charged for electricity, once it's at temperature, you can drop it down to 1 kilowatt and it will maintain that level for as long as you like. Okay. If you're going off grid, well, for a start, why? But if you are going off grid, you can use gas. Click onto gas and you'll use your gas. It will fire up itself. I can't hear it sparking up at the moment, but we haven't got any gas attached anyway. But gas, you could use that with electric as well if you really needed everything heated up very quickly. But again, I don't know many people that do that. You do have some settings. Now, we could make this as complicated as you like or as simple as you like. You can set night settings, day settings, you can prioritize. I do have a video direct from the manufacturer where it shows you everything you will need to know about the Alder system, probably more than you'll ever need to know, but I will send that link when I send these videos out as well. Okay. The good news about this is now you can turn this off, you can turn the whole caravan off, go tow it down to the south of France or wherever. When you turn the system back on, that will remain exactly where it was. Don't have to change anything. Right, so that's the Alder heating. Like I said, I will send you the video. Again, it's one of those things that we know what it's like. I can show someone around one of these caravans and go blah, blah, blah for an hour. And they go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they get it off grid, off site or wherever, and they completely forget what I said because I understand that because I'm quite dull. However, we are always on the phone to help. If you need to call us, 01373 752 100, option 1 for the sales team. Again, sales@wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. Just call us if there's a problem. Right, having not finished yet, because we've got lots to go through, but I do realise, time is of the essence. Microwave oven. I'm not going to teach you how to use a microwave oven. It's a standard microwave with the plate, with a revolving plate, 800 watt. Over here, that is the plug for it. So basically the isolator, so you don't need to keep that plugged in and wasting electricity. The cooker, okay, so you've got the 3 gas burners and an electric hob, separate grill and oven. Got a light down in the oven, very pretty. There's your sparker for everything else. The hob itself, obviously, does get very hot, as do the burners. Please don't put the glass lid down whilst everything's still hot. And if you are worried about the electric hob itself turning on when the glass lid is down, I'm not sure. It used to be the case where quite often if you turned that on it would get hot and these would shatter. There is underneath the oven a plug. So that plug is solely for the hot plate, so you can take that out and not have that worry at all. I'd rather be more cautious than less, if that makes any sense. I spoke about the hot water on the Alder system. So you've got mixer taps here. When that hot water comes out, that hot water is hot. There's no temperature regulation on it. It is, I believe it's somewhere up around the 60 to 70 degrees mark. So it's very hot. Make sure you use your mixer taps accordingly. Otherwise you could scold yourself, particularly for the kids. Cutlery drawers all over the place. Lots and lots of storage here for the kitchen. Beer chiller, most important part of the caravan as far as I'm concerned. So this is the Dometic. Singular button on here. Press the button, hold it in. So you'll see 2 arrows. That means the power is on. And it's not as bright as some, to be fair, but you can see the various things. Press the button once, and then you can use the rotator. I don't know if it's a rotator, the button rotates, so you can change the fuel. So at the moment I've got it on auto. If I press that, it's on auto, so whatever fuel source we're using, we'll go on to. You can put it onto the car alternator. The fridge does have to be cold for that. If the fridge isn't cold, it's a waste of time doing it because all it will do is maintain a temperature. You can run on gas, you can run on electric, but I think if you're on auto, if you have been away and you've got stuff in the fridge you want to keep cool on the way back, keep it on auto. As soon as you plug the car in, as long as it's set up on a 13 pin or the 2 7s, it should go on straight onto the battery side. Then press again, sorry, enter. Press again. You can press then, change the temperature of the fridge. If you put it on full, it's possible that you could freeze your lettuce. Although what you're doing with the lettuce in here, I don't know. But so change the temperature to whatever you prefer. Press it. Happy days. All right, that is basis of the fridge. You can open from either side. You have a freezer box in here. Don't try to open both sides at once, please. I know it sounds like common sense, but just trust me. Okay. Individual lights again. Lots of individual light switches up here. Main light switches down here as well, so whoever's on this side of the bed gets to turn everything on and off. The bed itself. Oh, another one. All right. I've been told off. So there's a light switch for... What is that a light switch for? Oh. Ah! Right, yes. Underneath the sink, there's a little follow me light basically for at night, a night light so you don't trip over the dog or whatever might be in the way. Okay. The bed itself, I think these are perfectly usable as two singles. I'm only just under 6 foot. 7 inches under 6 foot to be fair, but I'm just under 6 foot. So there, but again, the runners come out as far as that. Change the cushions however you desire basically. And then set the bed up so you've got a nice large bed there. I am aware that people buy these and they keep the beds up because they have the dinette to eat at. Entirely up to them. Ah, forgot the table. Just a slidey up table, very nice. Very useful for your cups of tea in the morning or your Ribena at night. Standard stereo stolen from a Renault Megane from 2019. Well, probably not actually, probably older than that. Pioneer stereo, all this one is radio, iPod. It does have a USB connection and auxiliary in. TV points here. There, a couple of USBs, more sockets. Carbon monoxide alarm. You've also got a smoke alarm in here somewhere. Yes, down up by the entrance door. This particular one does have an extra isolator switch, not using because it's that was what the isolator for the air conditioning, which has been taken out. We do have an omnivent. These are nice. Basically, it's an extractor or it's not really an extractor, it's not the right word, but open up the vent. And then you have press this button. You have to be quite careful with these. If you just press, they don't like that. So press once, give it a little bit, and it'll start working. So air out, so the arrow point out. That will work as an extractor fan, as you can see by leaving that on. It also will draw air in from outside. Again, just a little bit patient. Whilst we're waiting for that, I just want to remind everyone to make sure all of the vents are closed when you're traveling. Okay, it's easy done, but just get yourself a checklist for when you're leaving site. Go around, have a look up, make sure everything's okay. So turn off, but make sure you close the lid down. Being the 520, this is actually a 3-berth. This table will come down, sit on the edge of here. Again, rearrange the cushions. You can make a single bed out of it. If the new owners of this van want me to show them that on handover, more than happy to do so. Right, finally, really lovely big bathroom. Okay, so in the bathroom, did you just catch yourself in the mirror? You did, didn't you? Right, so toilet. As I said earlier on about the toilet, there is a light that comes up. Do you want me to take that? Give it here. I know you're shy. So there's a light that comes on in the toilet that then shines when the cassette needs emptying. You've probably got a wee or two left in there. However, when I was caravanning still, we had wine o'clock. So just before 1 o'clock, I would empty the toilet. So at least then I knew I was all right all evening. The toilets themselves, they do swivel. And I was talking to you about a flap, making sure it's closed when you take out the cassette. This is the flap. So once you've done whatever you need to do and it's emptied into the cassette, make sure you close that. Also, if that's still open, the cassette, it's a struggle to get the cassette out. And people have broken them just by being a little bit too aggressive with them, shall we say. That's the flush. You've probably just heard that then. Excellent. Wardrobe space. We have an abundance. This is also the fluid for the Alder system, so for the heating and hot water. When it's cold, when the system's cold, see where it says there, it's on minimum. That is absolutely fine. You don't need to put it to maximum straight away, and that's simply because the fluid heats up and expands. So you don't have to worry about that. This heated towel rail, so be careful. Try not to burn your bum. Taps everything again. Really nice size shower in these things. Can't say, you know, I've been into a fair few hotels that don't have showers as nice as that, and the showers are surprisingly good. Just to remind you, you are allowed to shower when you're on holiday. Okay, in this wardrobe, then we've got the freestanding table, and then literally back. Pretty much that is everything I wanted to talk about on this handover video. There will be some things I may not have covered, so if that's the case, when I do the handovers, you know, people ask and say, oh, I didn't see that, we'll go through it. If you need us, we're always available on the telephone, as I said before, 01373 752 100, option 1 for sales. Email sales@wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, TikTok, we're everywhere now. And so if this is the sort of thing you like, if you like our videos, please do like and subscribe to our video channel. The more the merrier. But for now, this is the fabulous Coachman VIP 520, the 2021 version, and it's lovely. Thanks for your time. See you soon.